Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is the outfit we'll be making today, the halter neck top. If this is something you're interested in, please stick around and keep watching. So first off, as per usual, I've traced out my pattern from my original block onto the temporary one I'll be working with. So I didn't highlight everything in black because I didn't want the whole pattern to be messy. So first off, I'm starting with the front. I'm extending the front shoulder all the way out towards the neck. Then I'm going to be taking away measuring ½ inch in from the nape of the neck. As if your neck is wide, you can leave it at 3 inches. If it's wider, you can make yours 3.5 inches. But my neck is slim and really small, so I'm making mine 2.5. That's why I'm taking in my measurement by half. Then I brought my depth down by half, and I'm going to be connecting those 2 points together with a smooth curve. So that's what I'm doing, connecting the half to the new half measure. I brought my neck down by half, so half and half. I brought my neck forward by half, and then I brought the depth down by half so that it will be deeper. So that's what I'm just showing you guys, and then I'm going to make that more visible in my marker so you can see the curve that I just made. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is bringing down my underarm by ½ inch. ½ inch, guys. I brought mine down by ½ inch. So I'm just marking that. Then at the neckline, starting from the nape of the new neck. If yours, remember, don't change yours if your neck is thick. I came down by 2.5 inch. Then I'm going to use a curve ruler to connect that 2.5 inch to the ½ inch point under the armhole. So that's what I've just done. So I'm not going to be needing my waist dart, so that's why I'm cancelling it out. So on the side, on the hem, on my hip line, I'm going to be extending that line outward towards the side, not the center. Then on that line, I'm going to be marking ½ inch for ease. ½ inch. Then I'm going to be connecting that ½ inch point to the second leg, the bottom leg of my side dart. You see what I'm doing? So I'm just going to extend that, just blend that into the top. So after doing that, I want to put a bit of shaping on the waist. So I'm going to just make my waistline more visible and extend into the end of that new line. I'm going to take 1/4 inch on that waistline. Then using my curve ruler, I'm going to softly blend that into the hem and also blend that into the armhole with a curved ruler, guys. So this is just going to give a little bit of shape to the waist. So I'm just using my marker to make that a lot more visible so you can see what I've just done. So the next thing I'll do, I'm just making my side darts much more visible because I'm definitely going to be using it. So the reason I didn't mark the entire paper in the marker is because I didn't want to make it messy. I wanted to be able to see what I'm doing. So now I'm going to the back. I brought down the armhole by ½ inch. That was exactly what I did in front, so I'm just replicating that. I'm extending the shoulder outward again from the nape of the neck. Remember, our front was reduced by half, so I have to reduce my back by ½ inch too. And from that ½ inch point, I'm going to blend that into my neckline with a curve ruler. Guys, remember, please don't reduce your neck if your neck is not so slim. And if your neck is thicker than 3 inches, please increase your neck width to around 3.5. So I'm done drawing that. Just drawing out my shoulder so it's visible. So just like the front that we measured 2.5 into the neck, I'm going to measure 1 inch away from the back. Just 1 inch. 1 inch is okay. So I'm going to use the curve ruler to connect that 1 inch point to the ½ inch under the armhole. Okay. And I'm also not going to be needing the side dart of the back, the center dart of the back rather. So the same thing I did at the front, I'm extending the hip line outward towards the side of the top. I'm going to be measuring the same ½ inch I took at the front and then I'm going to blend this into the side. Just rolling that straight. Then just like I did the front again, I'm extending my waist, taking 1/4 of an inch from this new side line. Then I'm going to blend that downwards, and I'm going to blend that upwards into my new side line. So when I'm done doing that, I'm going to just trim, cutting along my new. Please guys, when I got to the top, this neck part, I should have measured it. I'll show you what I mean when I say I should have measured it. So please do that before you cut. Do that measurement, but I'll show you what that means. So I'm just cutting, and I decided to leave a little bit of yes, that line, I decided to leave it. I should have measured it before I cut it, but I'll explain what I mean. So I'm just trimming everything out, and I'm keeping that aside. Do you see? I left a tiny bit of the neck attached to it, but I should have measured it. So I will just show you in the front. This is how you measure it. From the nape, you start, measure all the way to the center front of the neck. I'll hold that measurement, take it to the back. So I should have measured it on the back before I cut. So guys, please measure yours before you cut. I'll start that at the measurement I got from the front and conclude it all the way to the end. And I'm going to write that measurement down because we're going to be using it to draft our collar. So now I can snip out that line. So for you not to be having errors or make it difficult for you, measure it before you cut. So now I'm separating my front. I'm cutting out my front rather from my new side line. So I noticed that the edge of my neck was sharp, so I just blended that out. And I'm just going to cut that away. So I need to take away a bit of the gaping from the new style line of the front. So I'm opening my side dart. I'm making a line that connects directly to the side dart. I'm going to take 1/2 inch on the side of that line. Then I'll rule that line from the side dart all the way up again. So now I'm going to make a cut on one of those lines. Be careful not to separate it from the main fabric. Just cut close enough. And after doing that, I'm going to cover that with my 1/2 inch. So I've taken some of the gaping away from the front neck. Then I'm just going to hold that down with a tape. The next thing, I'm going to be putting a paper underneath so that I can cut out that dart so that it's not looking rough. So in that space, I'm placing that on a brand new paper so I can redraw my dart legs. So I'm just drawing that out. Then starting from the tip of the side dart, I'm going to measure in 1.5 inch. Then from the middle of that 1 inch point, I'm going to connect that to the sides of the side dart. So after doing that, that's my new dart. I'm going to trace out my dart from that second point. So I'm connecting the two ends together, and I'm just going to trim out the excess. So I'm just showing you that that's where my dart starts, from that point. So for the back, just drew a line, just a straight line, just the way I did. Then I'm going to measure 1/2 inch from that straight line. Then I'm going to connect that 1/2 inch point to the end of the first line I made. So it's like a dart. I'm going to make a cut on one of the lines. And then I'm going to use the other one to overlap it to cover the 1/2 inch allowance, so that there's no gaping at the back too. Gaping means like looseness, opening. So now I'm just going to seal that down. I decided I wanted to reduce the length. If this is a top and I didn't want it all the way long to my hips, so I took away 1.5 inch for ease and to make it more flattering. So I'm just trimming that out. I did the same thing to the front, 1.5 inch. Mark that out, and I just trimmed that out. So guys, time to draft the collar. So I'm making a straight line, a vertical line, and then an horizontal line. I'm just using my marker to make it visible. So on the horizontal line, that measurement we measured from our neck, the front and the back, you're going to mark that just halfway up the paper. And then I'll connect that with my straight ruler. So now, on this front line, the one away from you, the front, if you see I'll call that my center front. I measured 3/4 of an inch. And on the horizontal line, I measured half of the neck measurement plus half. So if I got 3.5 plus half, that will make it 4. So I marked that in the middle. So now from that point to the 3/4 inch on top, I'm blending that with a smooth curve. I'm going to be at this point, if you want your collar to be 4, 5, 3, 2, whatever, I wanted mine to be 2 inches because I noticed that really high collars do not fit me. So I just made this 2 inches rather. So I made 2 inches at the top, 2 inches at the middle, and 2 inches at the end. So I'm connecting the middle mark and the end with a straight ruler, and then the middle to the top line with a curved ruler. So I'm just making that much more visible. The next thing I'm going to do is measure along this curved line to be sure that my measurement is exactly the measurement I got from measuring my neck. So I noticed it's more with a bit, so I'm just marking where it stops. I'm doing the same thing at the top, confirming that the measurement is the same with my round neck measurement. So I'm just marking that down. I noticed there's a bit of excess because of the new curve. So I'm going to connect those 2 points together with a straight ruler. Then at the top of the center front, at this top part, yes, that top part, I'm going to be measuring 1/2 inch, 1/4 of an inch rather, and I'll blend it to the end. So that will bring my neck inside by a bit. So now I'm just calling this my collar, and then I'm going to trim out all the pieces. So I'm just trimming it all out. So after doing that, the collar is ready. So I'm just going to show you the rest of the pieces. So please guys, if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.